Sometimes it thinks that's. He doesn't like that all that smoke. They don't know it.
Good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and call this meeting ordered. It is 6:30 on the dot. Everybody in the audience, will go ahead and silence their mobile devices, please. We appreciate it. Anyone? Helen, would you like to lead our invitation tonight?
Be glad to do. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so very much for all you've done for us, and Lord, for your many blessings, Lord, for giving us some rain over the weekend. Lord, I praise you for just the little things in life. Lord, I pray that you would just bless our proceedings here tonight. And Lord, that we may do things pleasing in your sight. Lord, I pray you give this commission more wisdom as they weigh out the many decisions that will impact our county, our county's future. Lord, I just pray that you would just help us to do, Lord, this in the most informed and the most beneficial way to our county and for its future. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Or would you lead us in our pledge? Yeah, you.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone on the board is well aware of our ethics and conflict of interest reminder. Do we have any conflicts of interest or not that the board needs to be made aware of? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6, which is additions pertaining to the agenda. Do we have any items to add to the agenda tonight?
Chairman Masters, a couple of items to add to the agenda here under the consent agenda. I'd like to add item 1 to the consent agenda, surplus sanitation vehicle 2005 Peterbilt front end loader. And then I'd like to add item J, participation form for the Kroger settlement, the new national opioid settlement.
Oh, gosh. We have a motion to add item I and item J to the consent agenda tonight. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Please speak. All in favor, vote by visual sign. Motion passes. Once everybody's had enough time to review the minutes for June the 25th, 2024, we will need a motion to approve those tonight, but take your time.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Brandon. All in favor, vote by visual sign. Motion carries. All right, moving right along tonight, item number 9, under reports and presentations. 9A is going to be our employee of the month. And unfortunately, Ms. Shanna Jenkins is not available to be here tonight, but Manager, could I get you to read this?
I'm glad to read this, yes. Mitchell County Employee of the Month, June 2024. We are excited to announce Shanna Jenkins as the Mitchell County Employee of the Month for June. Shanna is the Adult Protective Services Supervisor at DSS. She demonstrates time and time again her knowledge, strong community connections, and compassion for each case that is reported to APS. Shanna conducts the intakes of new APS reports with nothing but the goal of ensuring the best possible outcome for the citizens and their families is achieved. She is also very engaged with her staff, always supporting them, and does what it takes to ensure that her employees are taken care of when situations arise that are out of their control. During the times of being short-staffed, internal department changes, new employees, Shanna always steps up to meet the needs of the agency, even though that means extra work for her. Whether she is juggling multiple reports, staff shortages, training employees, managing after hours, and being the backup on call supervisor for APS, Shanna is always available to her team and makes the time to assist them with whatever task is at hand. In addition to her providing support due to the deep respect and care that the team has for her, there is the return of support shown to Shanna by others when needed. Regardless of what is thrown to Shanna, she always remains calm, caring, keeps smiling, and is consistently dedicated. Thank you, Shanna, for providing great support, care, and service, kindness, and dedication for both the citizens of Mitchell County and the employees at DSS. Congratulations and thank you for going above and beyond.
And we have her, plaque back here, so Brandon, if you want to take it up there, or if, you want her to come down here and just.
Okay, we'll get
Get
it
it
to her.
to her. All righty, next item up, under reports and presentations is item 9B, that is gonna be our tax collector's report. So come on up, Ms. Jessie Preston. Good evening.
I have for you tonight. Sorry, it's been a little creepy here. Collections report for June of 24, $92,721.75. Our percentage ended at 97.27.
Look, higher, lower, same, slash,
Last year, hair lower.
hair, lower.
Yeah. Our foreclosure activity for June, 4 properties went to auction. And 1 was redeemed before it went to auction. So it's a total of $20,500. And then we've got 5 upcoming for July and August. We continue receiving wage garnishment and payment plans. But we actively started this in 21 actively started on the foreclosures. Like you were here, you were here.
It was right after, because they stopped you guys from doing that during COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's like 458,000.
That's great.
Any questions for her? Hearing none. Okay, thank you, Jessie. All right, next item up is our board reports. Commissioner Roberts, have you had any meetings that you need to report on?
No, I did meet with the, Northwest Housing Association about 2 weeks ago. Nothing really new to report on from there. That's the only board that I've met with.
I think CCPT met in between our last meetings, and I guess the big takeaway from that is they combined, there's a new structure combined with their job fatality review. So instead of having 2 groups, now you just have 1, but they were kind of one and the same anyways. I met last week at the Valley Health Board of Directors, and they passed, I think the biggest budget Valley's ever had, but now Valley's over like 36 counties, and they've really grown across the state. They still continue to be a great partner with Mitchell County. I don't think to say. Oh, Taylor Plank went live today, so that's big news. I know they've been working on that for years, and they kept pushing it back and kept pushing it back, and it's finally happened. Can you actually say that? So.
Commissioner, you got anything?
Just a couple of things, so, the Spruce Pine Main Street Board, they meet every, month. At the first of the month, and they have started stuff in the park over there. They've got their movies in the park, and, they're doing different activities in the park throughout the month, so they've got a schedule posted on there, on the main, Spruce Pine Main Street website. And they did hire a new director there. I had never talked, I always forget about the Main Street Board,
Spencer.
it's Spencer, yeah, he took Libby's position, and he's doing a lot of things, so happy to have that position filled, and seems to be moving in the right direction.
Are those movies free for people to watch?
They are.
Okay.
They're free, and then Let's see, Malin, we met, last Monday. Just one of the. Agenda here, because my memory is. A little thin. Yeah. Make sure there's. Malin, was audited, from the state auditor's office, they got their audit findings back. It was a good audit. They had a couple of corrections that they had to have made, so they were making those corrections to line up with what was expected from the audit board. Sorry, I should have had this in front of me, before. You guys know about the Malin, I don't think I talked about this the last time, but Malin signed an agreement with, Appalachian State so that you partner. Basically, if you are a resident of Mitchell County, Avery or Yancey, you can go to Malin, free of charge and go to Appalachian as part of that free with tuition. So it's a really big, it's a really big deal.
When are they starting that this fall? Or
That is coming up this, I want to say this upcoming fall semester. So more information to come about that, but yeah, it's a huge deal, especially if you got kids getting ready to go to college there. It's a really nice option, attractive option to take on. So I think it's better.
I recently attended the county advocacy days, the Carolina Association of County Commissioners, and that was down in Raleigh. I had the opportunity to speak with the association about initiatives, and they're kind of coming up with a game plan about where the association, they kind of want to head, and so all of that will be discussed at the annual conference in August. So if any of you guys want to sign up, get with Christy and she'll get you signed up. But we also got to meet with several legislators across the state and then other county commissioners across the state. And overall, it was really good to network with them. I spoke to Chuck, he was going out of town, and he was telling me that the EDC board will be making some recommendations for people to fill their seat. So that'll be coming before the board next month. Van Phillips and Richard Knopps, both of their terms were up in May, and they did not request to be reappointed, so I don't know at this time who those nominations will be. But they will be probably brought to the board in August. And then, a little bit about the audit that you were talking about, Steve. I did kind of go through it, and I had just a question that maybe Alan, we can task Alan with getting a point of clarification, if you don't mind. But it's stated somewhere in there, I think maybe note 19 or something like that, that there was an MOU that was executed, and the purpose of the MOU was to establish terms for reimbursement of institutional auxiliary funds provided by the college to fund the Blue Ridge Boutique Hotel. And everybody knows that that's owned by the college, but it's operated by the corporation. But the MOU did not contain a limit on funding, and there was no interest charged to the corporation. So per the MOU, the balance to be reimbursed by the corporation was $794,578.15. And there was a schedule for annual payments. I think the first 2 years were $25,000, the next 2 or 3 were $50,000. And then my point of concern was in 2030 and 2032, when that big payment is due. It stated that big payment would be $594,578.15. And so I guess my question is, are these donor funds? Are they state funds? Are they county funds? What is the funding source for that? Because our community college is important, especially with everything that you said, Steve, with them going on with that. So when it comes to education, I think it is very important. So I just want to make sure that this, moving forward, is not going to jeopardize anything, or for future boards, commission boards at that time when that big payment is due. So I I just would like a point of clarity for that, if you would not mind.
Get it set.
Thank you. I also attended the E911 meeting. We met with the fire marshal's office, communications director, the sheriff's office, and basically we just discussed updating our current alarm ordinance to help our first responders. And so I believe Boars will look at that and we want his good graces and recommendations. And so that'll be in an agenda packet sometime in the near future. And then the only other update I had as far as a board that I'm on was I spoke with some local truck drivers and they informed me with a few concerns that they had about the Ledger intersection. So I spoke to David Graham of the High Country about my concerns, and Alan actually informed me today that our DOT is going to be doing a study, and if they can maybe possibly install like a flashing light, like they did out there in Spruce Farm. So if you have anything else later on, Alan, if you want to update about that, and then for whoever it was on the Facebook world, there was concerns about the playground over at Googe, and so Alan will have an update for anybody watching on the live stream and the audience about that playground.
I can talk to that right now.
Yeah.
So, playground at Googe, it was an old and aging playground, so we went ahead and, transitioned that out.
Wade Tipton.
Wade Tipton Field behind Googe, there was an older playground there. So, the old one will be removed, and, there was enough funds within the program departments for Rec League to cover pretty much all of the new, playground equipment, which will be comparable to what it was. So probably in the next 2 months, you'll see a new playground out there, folks. So, your kids will not have any rusty spots that, they might get tetanus off of or anything. So, it's gonna be much better.
So, and I apologize, I don't know who had that concern. I just remember seeing it, and then Alan and Mavis and everybody was spot on getting that
Everybody in
taken
the
care of.
finance office, Brock with Rick, maintenance, ascertain the situation, and definitely want anything we see that's got some age on it and might need to be replaced. Very good call to bring that to our attention.
All right, let's see. Our next item up tonight is going to be appointments. And our first one is going to be our tax collector. So I will go ahead and at this time open the floor up for nominations for the tax collector.
Nominate Jesse Presley, tax collector.
Okay, so Ms.
Nomination.
Jesse Presnell, you have been nominated.
Sorry, Jesse. Sorry, Jesse.
Do we have any other nominations at this time? Hearing none, I will close the floor for nominations, and I will have Miss Jessie Presnell come on up.
I told her I was gonna mess that up. I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna appoint the wrong person.
All right, so I think I'm supposed to read you this charter.
Madam Chair, would you take a vote before you?
Oh, yeah, sorry. See, I knew I was gonna mess it up, so I gotta come back.
I'll second the motion.
Second emotion, all in favor? All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so I have to read you this chart now, Miss Jessie. You are hereby authorized, empowered, and commanded to collect the taxes set forth in the tax record filed in the office of the Mitchell County Tax Collector and in the tax receipts here within delivered to you in the amount and from the taxpayers likewise therein set forth. Such taxes are hereby declared to be a first lien upon all real estate property and the respective taxpayers in Mitchell County. And this order shall be a full and sufficient authority to direct, require, and enable you to levy on and sell any real or personal property of such taxpayers for and on account therefore in accordance with the law. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I believe I'll let Miss Christie, I think she's got to give you your oath.
We've had discussions over the left and right. Oh, sorry. I'll get out.
All right. You ready? I, Jessie Presnell,
I, Jessie Presnell,
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the
the
Constitution
Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws of North
and
Carolina,
laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will not allow
that I will not allow
my actions
my actions
as collector to be influenced
as collector to be influenced
by personal or political friendships
by personal or political friendships
or obligations,
or obligations,
that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as tax collector.
as tax collector.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, let me just sign it.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Big sigh of relief.
Yes, yes. very much
Word
so.
all day,
Not so late. You want the rest of the reports next?
Actually, the next item up is item 10C. That's going to be our deputy tax collector charge. At this time, I'll go ahead and open the floor up for nominations for the deputy tax collector.
I nominate Sandra Burleson.
Do we have any other nominations tonight? Hearing none, we will close the floor and I will need a second.
Second.
Thanks, Keith. All in favor, vote by usual sign. The motion carries. Next item up is 10D, and that is going to be the deputy tax collector. Oh, sorry, 10C. Now I do the charge. All right. Ms. Sandra, you are hereby authorized, empowered, and commanded to collect the taxes set forth in the tax records filed in the office of the Mitchell County Deputy Tax Collector and in the tax receipt herewith delivered to you in the amounts and from the taxpayer likewise therein set forth. Such taxes are hereby declared to be a first lien upon all real property of the respective taxpayers in the county of Mitchell. And this order shall be a full and sufficient authority to direct, require, and enable to levy on and sell any real or personal property of such taxpayer for and on account thereof in accordance with the law. Next item is going to be 10D, which is going to be the deputy tax collector's oath.
Okay. I, Sandra Burleson,
I, Sandra Burleson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws of North Carolina,
and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will not allow
and that I will not allow
my actions
my actions
as collector
as collector
to be influenced
to be influenced
by personal or political friendships
by personal or political friendships
or obligations,
or obligations,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
as deputy tax
as
collector.
deputy tax
So
collector.
help me God.
So help me God.
You're gonna say that now, pronounce you, man.
Thank you, guys. All right, next item up is 10E. That is going to be the tax assessor oath. Do not have to deliver a charge for this one. So Christie and Blair. Not supposed to open the board for nominations.
Not
We'll
necessarily.
do that first.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
I did it correct. It's not hard. I'm sorry. Ready?
Let me grab, not that the wrong one. I'm doing so good. After you, that's my fault. I, Blair Hyder,
I, Blair Hyder,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will not allow
and that I will not allow
my actions as assessor
my actions as assessor
to be influenced
to be influenced
by personal or political friendships
by personal or political influence or friendships
or obligations,
or obligations,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
as tax assessor.
as tax assessor.
So help me God.
So help me God. Sworn in to get sworn out.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Next item up is 10F, and that is going to be the appointment of county manager. And so I will go ahead and open the floor for nominations for county manager.
Nominate Alan to be county manager.
And
Second.
second. All in favor? Motion carries. Congratulations. Everybody's so happy you're still here. Why you didn't say no?
Hey, I'm here, buddy.
Close the door fast.
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
All right.
I said to my Bear John, I said, come on up here, buddy.
All right, item 10G tonight is the appointment of air finance officer. So at this time, I will go ahead and open the floor for nominations for air finance officer.
Nominate Mavis first.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Congratulations, Magnus. I'm glad you didn't hit the door running as well.
Keep her here. I'll stay if you stay.
All right, item 10H tonight is gonna be our interim GIS coordinator. And I would like to go ahead and nominate Blair to fill this position until it is hired.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Motion carries. All right. Moving on to items for discussion, 11A is going to be a resolution for review for the officer mapping. So Alan, would you like to speak to that? Or-
Yeah, so, it's, basically, we have to do a resolution for, with our mapping person that has advanced to a new opportunity. We've advanced them out, which I hate to lose anybody, but if they're doing better for their family, I'm always glad to see that, happen. But I'll miss the fella deeply, already missing them, but, so, in the meantime, Blair and I have taken some plat review courses to, allow us to do plat review. So there's a resolution that will, that the board will need to pass that, takes away any past folks that were doing plat review and brings forth, Blair and myself to do initial plat review to keep, our property transactions running accordingly via the register of deeds and our mapping. So between the two of us, with probably more Blair's help than anything, we're gonna get the, maps and keep them moving by doing this.
And so once somebody is hired, would we just have to do an amendment?
We would do an amendment, but we may want to keep us in place while that new one's getting up to par. Granted, I think they'll quickly get the plat review. I know there's a lot of special circumstances, but yeah, we can.
That's a long one. I hope the board had the resolution in their packets, but for the people in the audience in the live stream, I'll go ahead and read that at this time. And then we'll have discussion about it if there is any going forward. For the resolution for review officer, the Mitchell County Board of Commissioners, hereinafter the board in regular session assembled makes the following findings and adopts the following resolution. Whereas the North Carolina General Assembly under Chapter 309 of the 1997 Session Law amended Article 2 of Chapter 47 of the General Statutes by adding General Statute 47-30.2 Review Officer. And whereas General Statute 47-30.2 requires the Board of Commissioners of each county to adopt a resolution designating by name one or more persons experienced in mapping or land record management as a review officer to review each map and plat required to be submitted for review before the same is presented to the Register of Deeds for recording. And whereas the board desires to adopt the resolution in order to comply with the provisions of General Statute 47-30.2, and whereas the board further desires to establish certain procedures with regard to the review of the map and plats by review officers. Whereas this resolution supersedes the previous resolution recorded in Deed Book 531, page 45 and 46. It is therefore resolved as follows. The following persons are hereby named as review officers for Mitchell County: Alan Cook, County Manager; Blair Hyder, Tax Assessor. Each map or plat required to be submitted for review before the same is presented to the Office of Register of Deeds for recording shall be delivered and presented to one of the above names listed as the review officers at the Mitchell County Mapping Department in Mitchell County, North Carolina. The review officers to whom the map is delivered and presented for review shall maintain a record of the date of his or her receipt of said map or plat. Review officers within 5 working days of said date shall complete his or her review, and if the map or plat complies with all statutory requirements for recording, shall certify the same. If said map or plat fails to comply with all statutory requirements for recording, the review officers shall, within a stated period of 5 working days, notify the person who delivered and presented the map of plat of such, and shall indicate the statutory requirements which were not met. Having read that, is there any discussion at this time from the board? Any questions? No? Hearing none, we will need a motion to adopt this agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Clayton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Motion carries. Hi, guys. Next item up is item 11B. And that is the revision of the Duke easement of power lines at Mitchell Yancey landfill. And Alan, we have any
Just a quick
specifics?
note on that. I know, we've done provisions and right-of-way documents for the landfill property that is located in Yancey County, but in, part ownership between Yancey and Mitchell County. So Mitchell County has a share ownership in that. And they're basically trying to, Duke Power's moving their lines through that property to better serve, clients. And so they had to change the original one around a little bit more. And they moved it closer to the roadside rather than taking it across the middle of the property. I got Ford to, put his eyes on it. And he had a few concerns. I forwarded those to, Doug Hutchinson with Duke Power or the contractor, and he brought those back and answered some of Ford's, and Ford with hesitation. It has said it's okay to go ahead and move forward with that, a little bit on the guy wire length. He didn't like that length on there, Ford, and you can speak to some of that, but.
The proposal you have in front of you does allow them to place guy wires outside of the easement area. The width of this easement is a 30-foot wide easement, and it allows them to have guy wires outside that 30-foot area. As I understand it, that's generally a cost factor for them that allows them to use a longer but cheaper gauge wire as opposed to a more robust yet shorter wire for securing the poles. The power company has asked that we consider adopting it with the language as they've included. This does allow you to have ingress and egress across Landfill Road and to access the property. So although that's not a precise area where they're going to put their guy wires, it still generally would be appropriate for your consideration.
So being that, we're trying to move this project along, they're on a deadline. I feel like the board should, my opinion is the board should go ahead and move forward and pass this, because I know he's been really wanting to get this project, and there is some benefit by those lines being good, so.
And with these revisions, none of those will hinder Malin's, any of the projects Malin has going on over there, right?
I don't feel they will. I'm not sure they will. I think the benefit far outweighs the potential for anything that would be a detriment.
I would note you can't put buildings underneath the power lines as this is written, but I don't believe those projects are within the scope of where this is.
I don't think so. All right, well, any discussion?
What was the extra space for the guy wire outside of that 35-foot easement?
And I think what they were extra 20 foot maybe, but I don't know if it's on an angle, it wouldn't be that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they don't have a definition in here. It's just what is reasonable to support their poles is what they've included. So
So we in essence giving them a 50-foot easement all the way.
it's giving them a 30-foot easement with the right to extend guy wires.
So where a pole is, there could be a guy wire.
So it was outside of the hill, we would.
It's kind of on the side of the hill where the road's kind of carved in, so my look at it, I just didn't feel like it was buildable land to much extent where that's going through.
And there's no, this wouldn't affect any citizens.
No, it wouldn't. To what I'm seeing, when I looked it over, I didn't feel like it would affect them. It's simplifying the grid in there, and there is a lot of grid issues where the grids are, there is some benefit to getting that grid built out a little bit more modernized in that area. But it may not be great benefit. It's gonna be a benefit for them to have those updated poles and updated lines running through that area. I think they're trying to connect it into the other side of that ridge eventually, which is gonna help with some of the Yancey folks to maybe be able to get some more optimized service is my guess. And, the engineer would be talking, like I'm talking, where you're not getting like hard deliverables, but they're hoping this and hoping that, and that's kind of how that wording. And on another note, I will be meeting with Duke Power next week to talk about this general Duke Power stuff, so. We'll have a lot of good topics with Duke Power. I appreciate them coming to the table, so.
Make a motion, we adopt this revision.
Do we have a second at this time? No,
Nobody say that?
nobody has at this time.
Yeah.
If you feel the need to table, you do have that as an option.
Well, I have a little bit of hesitation, but,
Is this something that's gonna hinder anything if they?
I think the guy was wanting to move the project, it was already running late, but other than that, I mean. I would say if you tabled it, I would say, what would you want for to change on it by tabling it?
It does give you some comfort, you have previously approved a version of this landfill property. The other item I've noted is the landfill is located in Yancey County, and it's our use of the property, and we own half of it, but
Nancy approved this already.
I believe they have.
I'll second.
So you made the motion, did you, Steve? Okay, all in favor, vote by usual sign. Okay, motion carries. Moving on to item 12, our consent agenda tonight. There are several items on there for the people watching on the live stream. We have consent agenda with items 12A through J, and 12A being the June 2024 property tax refunds, releases, and discoveries. 12B being June 24 vehicle tax refunds. 12C, Toe River Health Department lease agreement. 12D, the Bakersfield Child Development Center lease agreement. 12D, the 12E, interlocal government agreement with the town of Sprucepine. 12F, home and community block grant for older adults. 12G, commercial county solid waste service agreement. 12H, DSS contract for the ARC. 12I, surplus sanitation vehicle, and 12J, participation form for the further development. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda tonight?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Thank you, Clayton. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Okay, the motion carries. All right, item 13 is our finance office report. Mavis, have you got anything for us tonight?
No, the only thing I'll say is that I did, give you June's reports. There, you got those tonight, so unless you have some questions, I don't really have anything new since the last time we met.
I'm sure you guys had a busy Monday. It's the first of the fiscal year, so. All right, any questions for Mavis? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 14, which is our county manager's report.
Yes, got a few things I want to touch on. Number one, thanks to Via Health, they have given us about think around 84 Narcan to use with our law enforcement and our fire departments, and we'll store some for when we start using up too much Narcan. So, they have, supplied us with that, and I just wanted to say on the live stream, thank you, Via Health, for that. That's a benefit to our folks and our citizens. Also, we have $101,000, about $101,714 to be exact. That I was informed by Mark Bird that USDA is going to be using on creek stabilization behind our fields. So as you look at our full project over here on this rec center field area, you see a metal chain link fence around the baseball/soccer field. You will eventually see some lights and a concession area and a restroom area. But the creek walk's gonna be moving around through there. And part of this grant is to do stream stabilization on that Cave Creek segment, which will do a no-rise study and will allow for us to do a lot of things on that floodway in order to put our trail in. So that's some extra money that USDA is gonna bring to the table. And I know they're applying for a few other things. So it's excited about that, and thanks to Mark Bird and all those who are working with him. Blue Ridge RC&D. I know they've just got together as a team to help on that creek stabilization and that creek walk expansion. For those in Bakersville, they know what that creek walk is to the town. In fact, our county attorney got to walk it for the first time today, and it has nothing but good things to say. All of us are. So neat little project there. Also we got a new interim ag extension director that came on board to work with us for a short while, Jim Hamilton out of Watauga County, a super nice '1 kind of guy. Look forward to getting his perspective as we move ag extension to Bowman. When Bowman is vacated and the county is to take it over, one of the first things I'm doing is going to be moving with the commission board's approval. As always, one of the things I want to do is move extension out of the annex building, the HVAC, the handicap accessibility over there is just not up to par, so we're moving them straight over there. So that back building by the football field will be the agricultural extension office, and that will be a new ag center. I'm going to be fishing for some tobacco trust fund grant money, and got several funding sources that were out there looking to upfit that and get it going really good. And it's going to be a really neat place out there. So as you see that project going, that's got some high-end potential for our rural folks and our rural lifestyle to get that moving. Let's see what else I got on the list here. So Duke Power, as I said, will be meeting next week. We've got a lot of power outages and they're coming to the table, bringing an engineer. I've got a few folks that are going to attend that meeting. I don't want it to get out of, I'm just getting a few of so if you have issues with Duke Power, let me know and I'll voice them. So got some of the EDC board that's going to be coming there. That a lot of our industry and stuff, if a power outage occurs, and it's a 5 to 10 minute power outage, that's costing them $10,000 to $20,000 to get back online. So, there's a lot of discussion there just to keep everything rolling good.
Are you going to, can you make a note that the Cane Creek area specifically is a target area that needs to be looked at?
Yes, and they've already gave me the discussion points for the Cane Creek area. A tree had failed and then it fell again. So there was in 24 hours, 2 outages on the Cane Creek area.
8.5 hours it was out.
So yeah, and I got some in the room here that's experienced that power outage firsthand to the tune of 8.5 hours. So there'll be some discussion about line clearance. I think we drive around through the community and look at the Duke power lines and look at how much clearing has been done will be one of the topics of discussion, I think, among others. Rec center, go ahead. No, you're good.
I was just gonna ask, when is that meeting?
It'll be,
This week?
no, it's next week.
Oh, next week.
I think if I remember right, it is Wednesday of next week, and I can tell you right now. It's Tuesday. Oh, it's Tuesday of next week. at 1 p.m. here at Mitchell County, EDC boardroom. Like I said, we have a limited number of seats, and she's bringing her engineer, and we're just gonna generally talk about things that we can do, maybe help that get a little better.
I appreciate it coming into the session.
Yeah, and Harley had requested that meeting with, said, Alan, check out these Duke power outages over on Cane Creek, and so we're bringing that out for the people, and that's thanks to Commissioner Masters for getting that on our radar. That's definitely needed. Rec Center is moving forward. We talked about the stream side of that project, but there's also the indoor facility. And, we're doing a lot of the preliminaries that you don't see in the planning process, like ordering the prefab building, working out, they basically are, as a term RFI, but they're just basically getting the correct information that is needed to implement the job. So, we're in that process right now of just, tweaking everything, and that, structure should be coming up out of the ground in November. And when it comes out of the ground, then all of a sudden, it looks like things are happening, but things are happening right now. You just don't see them, but that building will be coming out in November. And, law enforcement center is on track as well. The sheetrock's up, so now you can start looking and seeing kind of what offices look like and customer flow looks like. So it's starting to look a whole lot more, like a law enforcement center than a bunch of metal studs. So, if anybody wants me to walk them through there, let me know, and we'll get some hard hats on and take a look. So that's,
That is still on, time schedule.
it is still on time schedule. Looking at move-in date for that will probably be November 1st when all is said and done, because we're gonna be, once that building's ready, then we'll have to move some of the furniture into that. I know there'll be a mobilization from, law enforcement to get all their stuff and move it from where they're at currently. So it might be done with the construction in, say, October, first week of October to the second week in October. But by the time all that move-in stuff gets going and, grand openings and stuff, we might be around November 1st or the month of November, just the way things go. But all these projects are moving, and they're funded for, so we're trying to get more funding for Bowman. I know I went to see the entertainers at Bowman with my wife and daughter and mother-in-law and her aunt and uncle. And so we're going to get that auditorium fixed up, folks. We'll get a group together to kind of fish for some grants to maybe get that where we have premium sound quality, sound dampening in there. We'll get where the bluegrass band comes, you're gonna hear it sounding beautiful. So I'm gonna try to fish for grants on that Bowman Auditorium. Community use, I want folks to know that that's gonna stay community use. That old school's got a lot of folks' memories wound up into it, and it needs to be out there for our community to use. So I think this board's been right on with trying to get that out to the community. Okay, that might be the longest board report I do now. You won't hear one from me for about another 6 months. They had to put my job on the hot list today, so I figured I better look like I was doing a lot, No, I was just joking. It's good work for this board. Thank you all for a vote of confidence for another year.
Thank you, Alan. I have not been given any blue sheets, but is there anybody in the audience that wanted to speak in public comment tonight? Hearing none, do we have any board comments? Mr. Pittman, any?
No comment, no.
Mr. Pittman, you have?
Good.
Mr. Hort, we don't have any at this time. Our next item up is going to be a closed session. And so we will enter into closed session, for general statute 143-18.11, section 6. And in that closed session, I would like to invite the county manager, county attorney, the board, and HR at this time. And the clerk, that's that correct, sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
I made a motion. We had a motion?
No, there wasn't a motion.
I made a motion. Second.
Are we,